Do you see the house that's behind me? Do you see it? Yeah, someone lives there. Aren't the flowers in the background so beautiful? I think it's such a good addition to the video. Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. So today we're gonna pull this thing out, and I introduced you to her before. I call this my life maxing journal, and what inspired this video was I was taking a walk, and I just recently moved into a lovely neighborhood that I couldn't have imagined living in a million years. But the reason I did was because it exposes me to these beautiful houses with these lovely people who are so out of my old reality. By the way, I posted a vlog last week of my New York experience, so if you want to go watch that, you can go ahead. But anyway, let's just get into it. So when I take my walks, I go do my cardio outside, and I like to walk through these beautiful neighborhoods where they have 5,000 square foot houses. And I was looking around like, oh my goodness, like people actually live here. And you see the Porsches, and you see the Ferraris, and you see the Range Rovers in every corner. And it made me think about the mindset that I had to put myself in order to be surrounded by this reality. Think about the last time that I'm reading off of this because we know I can't speak. Anyway, think about the last time that you saw a really massive house, or someone in a crazy car parked next to you, or you just saw it driving by, or someone who goes to your gym who has the best body you've ever seen. Think about it. Think about the last time you saw something that you wanted, or something that you desired, or a lifestyle that you dream of, or you see it every day on social media. Have you ever stopped to think about, why can't that be me? Why can't I drive the supercar? Why can't I live in the big, massive house? Why can't I live in that neighborhood? Why do I have to be here? Why? The majority of people don't ever stop to ask themselves and question the invisible rules that they have accepted. And I want you to ask yourself, who decided that you have to tell yourself, maybe one day I'll get the car, maybe one day I'll get the body, I can't afford it? Maybe saying that's unrealistic. Like, why do we put these rules on ourselves? Who decided that? Who said that I can't do all of these things? Why can't I drive the G-Wagon? And you have to ask it with like a little bit of anger. At least that's what I do. Because who decided that? Like, literally, tell me. You can't even come up with an answer, okay? Why is there people who are dumber, who are uglier, who are lazier, driving your car, driving in your G-Wagon, in your Ferrari? Why are they living in your house? Why? Why not me? Okay? We should be asking ourselves these questions. And more importantly, you should ask yourself, what kind of person do I need to become to have that house, to have that car, to have that relationship? Another question, what could I do to get me even one step closer to what I want? What does it take? Once I started asking myself these questions, things started to change. So, a little background. I, and looking back at it, it's like so humiliating, but my whole life, I was always like 130 to 140 pounds as a 5'1" woman. Okay, I think that is overweight. I'm not sure, but BMI is overly. And not that long ago, I literally looked in the mirror and I was like, why? Why? I never in my life, not once in my life have I ever liked my body. For as long as I can remember, I always hated my body. I never. And I looked at myself one day and I asked one of these questions. I literally said, why does the girl on the Instagram page, why does she get to have that body? And I told myself, I was like, I deserve to see my peak physique at least once in my life. Once. At least once. I don't know what happened after that. I got the body. I lost what? 50 pounds? And I look back and I was like, my whole life, I was carrying 30, 40, 50 pounds of fat every single day. And I didn't even stop to question myself, why? Why does she get to be skinny and I don't? And honestly, like, I feel like with just asking that question and having that desire and feeling deserving of that body and simply just saying like I deserve to see my body at its peak physique at least once in my life, it just happened, with time. But it honestly, it feels like an accident. And yes, I did put in the work, but I looked up one day and I was like, how did I get here? And it was just by asking that question and telling myself that like I do deserve this. I don't want to be fat the rest of my life. I think a really important part of this story, and this I believe will apply to anything. Like I mentioned, the body, the car, the house, anything that you desire, the job, the friendship, anything. I think that you have to be in a place where you feel like you deserve what you desire, and God will give you the steps to get there. So just start asking yourself these questions, like why not? Why not me? Because who on planet Earth put these rules on you? Who did? It might have been your parents, it might have been the trauma, the past relationship where he was telling you that you're not good enough and that you don't deserve it. Those are not real. It's not fucking real. It's not real, okay? And you need to feel deserving of what you want. You don't need permission. You don't need the approval of anyone. Not your friends, not your parent, not your job, no one. And you're allowed to want everything that you want. We all want different things. Not everyone wants a big, huge house. You might not want any of that. You might just want, I don't know, peace. You still have to sit there, ask yourself, why? Why can't I feel peace? And who can I become to feel peaceful and feel deserving of that peace? It applies to literally everything. So, yeah, and I think a big part of getting into that journey and becoming that deserving person comes with saying no, which is something that everyone on this planet Earth should learn how to do. And of course it takes time, especially when you grow up with parents and family members who trained you to never say no, to try to earn people's love. And that's a whole thing that I'm not going to get into right now, but saying no. So if you think you are deserving of an extraordinary life, you have to learn how to say no. And you can't do that by saying yes to your average friends, your average habits, the average food, and the average relationships. Those are just examples. You have to learn how to say no, okay? Because the person who parked next to you in the Ferrari, they're probably not going drinking every other weekend. That's probably not a thing for them. And they don't have a toxic relationship bringing them down, putting them into tears every other day. So you gotta learn to say no to that. And you put an end to it. And of course that comes with practice, but that's what it takes, okay? So you decide if your desire is important enough to cut those strings that are holding you back. Anyway, so we're challenging the limiting beliefs that tell you that these things are impossible to achieve. And you need to become the person whose habits, standards, and decisions make your desired life inevitable. So I know that this is a pretty brief video, but I think that even with watching something as simple as this, it gets you one step closer, and you learn something new every single day. Us as humans, we're learning something new every single day, and we never stop learning, and that's just how life is. Well, what you need to learn how to do is to question these limiting beliefs and put an end to them, because they're not real, again. Anyway, I love you. I hope that you get everything that you want in this life. And go watch my vlog, okay?